Some memories refuse to fade, even if they have no place in your current life. Maybe it's a strong vision, a vivid sensation, or a strange familiarity that leaves you wondering where it came from. If you've ever questioned why certain images, feelings, or scenes feel so deeply etched into your mind, the answer might run deeper than you think. Across many cultures, healers and shamans were believed to carry not just skills, but memories from their past roles, imprints of the lives they once lived in service to others. These memories aren't always dramatic. Often they arrive as quiet recollections that pull at something you can't quite explain. Today, we'll look closely at the signs that suggest your memories might not be random at all. They could be proof that you once walked a different path, one marked by healing, wisdom, and deep connection to forces that many no longer see. Here are 10 kinds of memories that point to the possibility that you were a healer or shaman in a past life. 1. The memory of healing with your hands. You may sometimes recall the sensation of placing your hands on someone and feeling a powerful current move between you. It's not an everyday memory, but when it comes, it feels almost physical, a sensation of warmth, energy, or focused presence. You might not remember the face of the person you helped, but the act itself feels vividly familiar. Such memories often arise without prompting, triggered by something simple like holding a loved one's hand or brushing against a stranger. They're not imaginary. They carry a bodily certainty that hints at something deeply encoded in your being. In many shamanic traditions, hands were the primary instruments of healing, believed to channel forces unseen by the eye. If you feel echoes of that process without ever having learned it in this life, it suggests a mastery that stretches beyond memory. Your hands might remember the art of offering comfort long before your mind can make sense of it. This silent skill is often one of the strongest marks left behind by a soul that once healed. 2. The memory of ancient sounds or chants. At times you might find yourself drawn to certain sounds, long, drawn-out notes, drum beats, low humming, that feel inexplicably familiar. Perhaps in moments of calm or meditation, you hear fragments of a chant you've never learned, yet it stirs something deep within you. These are not random fascinations. Across many cultures, healers and shamans used vocal vibration to move energy, shift emotional states, and invoke unseen helpers. Memories of sound stay with the spirit, often surfacing long after the language itself has been forgotten. Even without formal musical training, you may sense the rhythm or tone that feels natural, as if you've sung these tones 1,000 times before. There's a feeling of rightness in it, a resonance that doesn't need technical explanation. Hearing, or even instinctively recreating, ancient sounds in moments of stillness suggests that your soul carries the vibration of practices that once brought comfort and transformation to others. 3. The memory of helping without words. There are moments when you instinctively know how to comfort someone without speaking. It could be sitting quietly with them, offering a steady gaze, or simply being present in a way that eases their pain without a single word. If you have vivid memories tied to this kind of silent support, whether from dreams, daydreams, or powerful feelings, you might be remembering the way you worked as a healer in the past. Shamans often relied on presence rather than speech, understanding that true healing often happened beyond language. This form of memory isn't flashy. It surfaces as a deep-seated understanding that sometimes words would only disturb what energy alone could mend. You might find that you just know when to offer silence, a touch, or a look instead of advice. The ability to recall and act on nonverbal healing methods points strongly toward a soul that has long practiced the subtle art of restoring others through quiet strength. 4. The memory of seeing illness as energy. At times, you may find yourself seeing or sensing people's illnesses, not as diagnoses, but as patterns of heaviness, dimness, or disruption around them. It's not something you trained yourself to notice. It simply appears in your awareness like a subtle but undeniable truth. This memory can be confusing because it doesn't fit into modern views of health, yet it feels real. Healers and shamans traditionally viewed sickness not just as a physical problem, but as a disturbance in a person's life force. Recognizing imbalances was a crucial part of their work. If you instinctively sense when someone is weighed down by invisible burdens, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical, you may be recalling an old skill that once defined your life's purpose. Such memories often show up as brief flashes or gut-level knowing, but over time, they reinforce a very old understanding that healing begins long before any visible symptoms appear. 5. The memory of being guided by animals. Some memories come in the form of vivid dreams or sudden emotional connections with animals you've never encountered. You may feel a particular animal walk with you during difficult times, not just as a symbol but as an active guide. In traditional healing cultures, animals were seen as powerful allies, each carrying lessons and energies essential to healing work. Remembering a sense of partnership with them suggests you once knew how to listen to their messages deeply and respectfully. Unlike spirit animals as a trend or concept, this memory feels raw, almost like recalling an old companion whose name you've forgotten but whose presence remains. There's no need to rationalize it. The bond simply feels real. When you find certain creatures consistently appear in moments of transformation, support, or danger, it may be your soul recalling the guidance you once trusted without question. 6. The memory of traveling beyond the body. You may hold fleeting memories of floating out of your body, not during trauma or fear, but with a sense of purpose or learning. These moments may come to you in dreams, flashes, or during intense states of focus. In shamanic traditions, the ability to shift consciousness beyond the body was central to healing practices. Such travels were not considered imagination, but real explorations undertaken to retrieve information, healing, or guidance. If you sense that you have gone somewhere else in ways that feel detailed and instructive, you may be touching on a memory of your training. These experiences often carry sensations of clarity and distance, but also responsibility, bringing something valuable back. Far from fantasy, these recollections hint at a lifetime when you learned that not all journeys require feet on the ground, and that healing sometimes came from places few could reach. 7. The memory of sacred spaces. You may sometimes recall standing inside a structure or place you have never visited in this life, a circle of stones, a dense grove, a low, smoky hut. The memory isn't about tourist curiosity. It carries a sense of reverence and knowing. These places were often the centers where healers gathered knowledge, connected with others, or performed rituals for the community. The emotional gravity you feel toward these spaces suggests a deep bond that transcends time. Rather than just appreciating their beauty, you might feel as though you know how those places were used, what sounds filled them, and how people's lives turned inside them. Such memories are echoes of sacred work, calling from the corners of your soul where ceremony and healing were once part of everyday life. 8. The memory of gathering plants you never learned about. You might find yourself oddly familiar with the properties of certain plants or drawn to natural remedies you've never formally studied. When you walk in nature, certain leaves, flowers, or roots may seem to call out to you in a way that feels eerily familiar. Healers across generations worked intimately with the plant world, and those relationships were often passed not just through teaching, but through the spirit's memory. Your intuitive knowledge may be a living thread connecting you to those times. This isn't about casual interest. It's a quiet internal knowing that certain plants hold specific energies or gifts. You might just know which ones feel soothing, cleansing, or energizing without any modern education telling you so. When your body responds before your mind even formulates a question, it points to an old and honored way of healing, listening to what the earth quietly offers. 9. The memory of calling on invisible helpers. You may hold soft memories of asking for help, not from people but from something unseen. Perhaps in dreams, meditations, or rare moments of crisis, you feel yourself reaching out instinctively to forces you cannot see. In many healing traditions, calling on ancestors, elemental spirits, or unseen allies was an essential part of the work. It was not considered superstition, but collaboration. Your memories may not come with names or full rituals, but they carry the emotional truth of trust. Trust that help exists beyond the immediate physical world. This quiet reaching out reflects a deeper spiritual intelligence that remembers how to ask for support in ways that logic alone cannot satisfy. 10. The memory of standing at the edge of change. Finally, you may carry a persistent memory of standing between opposites, between life and death, sickness and health, fear and hope. It's not a literal memory of an event, it's more of a felt sense that you once moved between worlds to bring something back. This sense of holding space between realities is one of the oldest callings of the healer or shaman. It required strength, wisdom, and often solitude. If you feel at home in moments of transition, times when others hesitate or despair, it could be because you've stood there before, offering your steadiness to those who needed it most. These threshold memories are often subtle but powerful, marking your soul as one that once worked in places where few dared to stay, offering light across the distances that divide. Memories like these are not random. They are imprints, quiet yet persistent markers that suggest who you have been and what you carry within you even now. Recognizing them isn't about chasing an identity. It's about honoring the depth of your own story, one that stretches further back than you might have ever imagined. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.